That's funny. Hold up. Which is currently unavailable. Hello, welcome to the live stream. On my side, it shows the live chat is unavailable, but I don't know. We'll just go with the flow, and pretty much, this is my third live stream. I'm still like a little nervous, but yeah, it looks like my mic's working. Okay, so I do have this icebreaker question about what is your favorite genre to read or write about? Let's see. And maybe I can figure out this live chat. Let's see. Maybe it's what I did. Yeah, it's funny. Let me see what I can do. All right. Okay. I was able to fix the chat. All right. So yes, welcome to the live stream, and this is going to be a writing discussion. So feel free to ask questions, have comments, and have a great discussion. All right. So the icebreaker question, and this is what you can answer in the chat. So, what is your favorite genre to read or write about? So, I'll just start with the icebreaker. I really love fantasy because that's really what got me into reading. And hold up, I'm typing the chat. Read or write for each other. But yeah, so fantasy really got me into reading and wanted to learn more about world building, characters, plot, and all the basic stuff as well. I am currently writing a book in fantasy that focuses on the characters and world building. One thing I'm trying to get better at when it comes to writing is the world building itself, because I know that there's readers that enjoys the world building so much and wants to be immersed in that world and escape from, the real world of where we're living in right now. So, can you hear me? I want to just make sure the mic is working, and so yeah. Oh, that's good. Is there a particular genre that you really like? Maybe like fantasy or like any fiction, nonfiction? Yeah, there's so many choices when it comes to genres. Let's see. Um, but we'll get into the discussion. Okay. So, in your opinion, true stories. True stories. Okay. True stories. Yeah, when it comes to the true stories, they're very inspirational. I usually shed some tears because it makes me pretty emotional. Like, oh my gosh, like whatever takes place, like it makes you feel a certain way. So yes. So my first question I have is, in your opinion, what makes a great book? So, in my opinion, I'll start out with this. What makes a great book to me is as long as the story is good, like the like you have like different elements that just go together. Like you have characters um that are human and relatable to us. Hello, welcome to the live chat. I am discussing about what makes a great book. I'm going to repeat the question. So, in your opinion, what makes a great book? Anyways, let me get back to what was it? Oh yeah. So you have the characters with with a with a decent plot, and the characters are pretty much the driving force in the story, and as long as you have that, I can say that makes a great book. Um, and also like when it comes to like making a great book, like it's it's really like a whole bunch of ideas that are put together to create a story. And no matter how ridiculous or logical it might seem, you're kind of like playing with it, like if you're like cooking something. And a book is not entirely a recipe because like you're making it and you have like trials and errors and all that stuff. And yeah, and also I'll say as long as the story is complete as well. That's another thing. Um, so so what could take you out from reading a book? Let's see. Oh, that's better. So what could take you out from reading a book? So in other words, what I'm trying to say is what what is it that uh so while you're reading a book, what might like kind of trigger like maybe something in the book that you don't like, or um yeah, pretty much something in the book you don't like, that's inside of it, and it makes you want to put the book down for a little while. um for me, I would say, ooh, I guess if a certain character just throws me off and I'm like, mm, um, yeah, or if like a scene that can be like a little much, and what I mean by that is like it might like make me feel a certain way that I'm like, yeah, let me just put the book down and just wait a little bit. and And sometimes whenever that certain thing in the book happens, like you might even consider not finishing it altogether. Last month, this is an example. So last month I was reading a book, and I was on chapter 8, and it was something about this character that I was like very thrown off about. I put the book down. I almost didn't finish the book, by the way, and yeah, I did not. I just didn't like it, but I pushed through that scene in chapter 8, and I kept on reading the book, and actually I got even more interested into what the story was about. And yeah, I was pretty much taking my time with it, and I was able to like the book more. So yeah. Let's see. What expectations do you have before being driven into a book? So basically what I'm saying with this question is like when you're in the library or a bookstore, something like that, what makes you want to pick up that book? Maybe it's because the cover or a certain genre you're very interested in. But pretty much, what book expectations do you have? For me, as long as it tells a good story, really, and like it has a fine premise that I'm like I can get into. Like I'm really into fantasy books, and when I look at I usually read the back of the book, or if it's a dust jacket, I read like the inside, and I'll be like, oh, what is this about? And that kind of gives me a good idea of if I want to read the book or not. And usually, depending what the book is, I will pick it up. But also, I'm trying to expand with my reading taste. I've been getting into mystery, dystopian. What else? Also some science fiction, and yeah, plenty of the fiction books and all that stuff. And yeah, and fun fact, I recently, actually it was yesterday, I went to Barnes and Nobles and I bought 2 books. It's on my shelf right now. Let's see. Let me get it real quick. So okay. All right. So yes, so these are the 2 books I have from yesterday. So I bought yesterday from Barnes and Noble. So this is like The Stolen Heir, and this is the Prisoner's Throne, and these are the prequel books to the Folk of the Air series, and it's a fantasy book. They're fantasy books, like royal political. So pretty much getting into like the royal aspects of fantasy is very interesting. So yeah, and like I said, these are the prequel books. They had. I'm surprised that they didn't have like the hardcover of this. And I went to the Barnes and Noble, and like yeah, so this is like the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition, as you can see, and I did look inside and saw that it had like questions from Barnes and Noble, and the author answered those questions pretty much. And let's see. Oh yeah, and also this is like a dust jacket, so right there, that's one of the nice little perks. Yeah. That's what I got yesterday. Hold up. I'm thinking. Ooh, I have a great idea. Hold up. Oh, that didn't do anything. I'm thinking. Oh my. Hold up. I will be right back. Okay. Okay, I am back. With what I was looking for. I'm gonna show you. Okay. Here we go. Alright. Because I've been going to Barnes and Noble this summer. Oh, nice books. Thank you. I've been going to Barnes and Noble this summer, and okay, the first set of books I actually got was the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. I was pretty lucky to find this. Yeah, I was pretty lucky to find this book box set of the two books, and then of course I got the newer book, Fearless, which is the third book of the Powerless series. And as you can see, it's also a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. Yeah, it's a big book. I don't necessarily like big chunky books, but I do like the premise of the series pretty much, you know. So, yeah. It's funny because I'm going to college and yeah, like I want to go to Barnes and Noble at least one or two more times before I go to college and be like, oh, yeah, you're stuck with these books, and yeah. But I'm planning to read I'm planning to read the Powerless series while I'm at college, and hopefully it takes me the whole semester to read them. So yeah, or it might not. Maybe like a few weeks. Let's see. Books make you very happy. Yes. I love reading books. I've read books since I can remember really. I remember that I read a chapter book. I read a couple of chapter books in first grade, and I really enjoyed reading those books, and they were very fun. So yeah. Um, let's see. What was I? I was thinking about something else. Well, who knows? Anyways, anyways, those are some of those books. Um, let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Um, and when it comes to expectations, we all have our preferences of what kind of books that we read and that we hear about, and yeah, um and not everyone is going to have the exact same opinion about the book. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you have expectations for reading books. And the reason why I am mentioning like what books that you like, or like what makes a great book, or what doesn't make a great book, or like certain expectations, is because um what was it? Like books, when it comes to books, it's going to have so much in there that it's not going to meet every single thing, but as long as it has some things that you're looking for, you should be satisfied with it. And book expectations are just expected. Um, it doesn't matter like what format they are, really. I would say like, yeah, as long as a book and it's readable, I think that should be your main expectation, really. Um, and I know there's like other wants and all that stuff, like, ooh, I want this in there. I want to make, oh, I want that. Um, so yeah, I'll say the need of a book is as long as it is complete and it tells a good story. Everything else is a want. So yeah. But now I'm actually going to get into characters. So, what makes a character stand out from everyone else? So that's a really great question um, to actually think about, really. And when it comes to a character that stands out, like what makes them different, you kind of have to play with that. Like as a writer myself, it takes me to play with the characters and try to get to know them to find out what makes them different from everyone else. And also, I'll say from a reader's perspective, like really, like I'm not going to say analyze it, but I'm going to say, um, so you're finding a you're just finding things that makes a character be like, oh, that's different. That's different about them, or something like maybe like a certain um like physical feature that makes the character stand out, or even like um maybe their point of view, like it makes you be like, I can really relate to them. I see like how different they are from everyone else. And like really you want to be able to relate to that character, whether it's the main character or a side character or all that stuff. And funny to know, I really like side characters. And just curious, like what? Okay, yeah. So what makes you want to know more about a character? I'm actually going to type that question in the chat. So, what makes you want to know more about the characters? And I'll just start out with like, I'm just curious about um, their backstory and how they came to be that person in the book. And I think what really excites me about a character is that they have a story, or they have something to tell. It's like they're not telling us everything; they're just telling us what they want to tell. And we want to just know more. And I guess like it's like we want to know what the author is thinking about that character. And yeah. And as a writer myself, like I'm really into my characters. When I write stories, it's very character driven. And yeah, what I really like about my characters is that they always have something to say. And what's very sad about that is I can't like get out everyone's point of view from that one story. I kind of had to write it to the side. So yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. Um, let's see. So, what makes a likable or unlikable character? So, what makes a likable or unlikable character? So, this is kind of a two-part question, but you can answer either one, whether what makes someone likable or someone you want to stay away from. So, to me, what makes a likable character, I guess we could start positive, shall we? Okay, so what makes a likable character is that we're able to relate with them. Um, there are similarities that they share with other characters, or maybe to the reader. They can be very funny, intelligent, but not a know-it-all. It's like the character has this balance and knows like when to do something or when to say something, when not to. Like they know their boundaries. They make decisions that are not stupid to where they might feel dumb. And what makes an unlikable character? So it's kind of the opposite of what I said. The first thing that comes to mind is them making stupid and dumb decisions that leads them to terrible consequences. And I'll say if that decision is not reasonable, then it's like, nah. But also, I'll say, and this doesn't only apply to villains, this can also be with your main character or any character, really. And I'll say, I have this character that I really don't like because, well, mainly because I don't like her point of view. I think that's kind of bad to say because I'm like, everyone has their own point of view and they have their own story to tell. But what makes me really, really hate this character is that they do an action so drastic that there's just no going back, really. And yeah. And that character was not the main character I wanted. So that makes it even worse. Like, really, it makes it a lot worse. But yeah. So yeah, in your opinion, what makes a likable or an unlikable character? That's the question. And I will say, I want to also add on to this about what makes a great story. So I watched a writing lecture probably a year ago. Was probably the first time I heard about this. So Brandon Sanderson said, you can have a great world but a terrible story, but you can also have like a decent world but have a great story. So let me go with the great world and terrible story. So if you focus so much on your world, if your readers have to rely on what is in that world that you created, but your story doesn't meet or exceed those expectations, then your story is going to fall. And that's something that you really want to avoid because not only that you want your characters, not only that you want your story to focus on your world building, you also want it to focus on the story that is the characters, because the characters are the driving force of the story, and you don't want the characters to be punching bags. And I want to add on to that. So you have a great world, but terrible characters is another way to say it, and that can lead to a terrible story. So on the flip side, let's just say not bad world building. You shouldn't have bad world building then that can lead your reader out of the story because they don't like your world. Oh, hello. How are you? right now I'm talking about world building, and yeah, so decent world building. Yeah, the reason why I say decent is because it's not bad, but it's all right. So yeah, hungry. um, so decent world, but having great characters would make a great story. So, like I said before, is your characters are the driving force into your story. You don't want to treat them like punching bags or, like plot devices. You don't want your characters to be plot devices that are being controlled. Kind of like little puppets like with strings, like, oh, I want you to do this, do that, and all that stuff. You don't want that to you don't want your readers to like notice that. And that's something to avoid. Really, you don't want to treat your characters like puppets. Though it could be fun, but it feels like that the author is really controlling them, and the character has no freedom or anything like that. Um, so yeah, do not treat characters like puppets. Um, yeah. Hmm. Let's see. So, curious question about characters. Hmm. Personality. So, what um let's see, what traits what yeah, what character traits do you look for in a character? All right. Yeah. So, what character's traits do you look for in a character? So do you look for a careful? Do you look for in a character someone um, who is attractive or responsible? Some let's see. Someone who really likes helping others. Someone who's thoughtful. Someone there's so many things that you can really say. I'm just listing a few from the top of my head. Um, But yeah, or maybe you're looking for a character who is the total opposite of you. And what I mean by that is like, okay, when you're reading a book, you want to find an escape. And with that escape, part of that is finding a character that is opposite of you. Um, so maybe you've always wanted to, I don't know, slay a dragon or something, or you really want to save the world from world domination, and you want to find a character who is literally doing that, and it's totally opposite from what you're doing, or like even like maybe a villain, like maybe you want to look for a villain who's want to conquer and all that stuff, and maybe in your head you just picture yourself as the villain, and like, look at me, and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, there's many things that you can look for in a character, um, that can be like you or completely different from you, and like, yeah. Um, but yeah. But for me, what I'm looking for in a character when I'm reading is like I want to be in their shoes. I want to be able to relate with them and be like, oh wow, I definitely agree with that, or no, I don't agree with that. I think you should have done something else or something like that. Um, yeah, those are some things that I like looking for in characters, and yeah. Um, let's see. let's see. I'm looking at what this could be. No. Oh, I don't know. That's okay. And part of what to look for a character, like, yeah, it's okay to not know just yet. But as you're reading into a story, you might find some unexpected things that'll be like, huh, and something that might catch your attention. So, yeah. And let's see. And pretty much all of this, what has been discussed on this live stream is pretty much about expectations from a book, like inside the book with characters, world building, and different things that make up a book pretty much. So it all ties together. So that's pretty good. Yes. So let's see. But yeah, so last week, okay, this is funny because let's see. If you watch my previous episode of Mysteries of Writing, I did mention this about like a short story idea that I had. So the theme about this is how long can you keep the lie? And this story idea came to me like at nighttime, and I was like, huh, this is very interesting. And I don't know, it kept on going and going. I was like, and the longer the person kept the lie, the worse things got. And yeah, and I actually outlined this story, and things went in crazy directions. And I was like, wow, wasn't really expecting that. And it was like different people paying the price for this lie that someone told, and like the person didn't have to tell the lie, but they just chose to. And then the other story is like literally right after the first one that I came up with. And with the second one, it's about how much are you willing to take. So pretty much some themes of that is like sacrifice and taking the next step to doing the right thing, and what is the right thing really. So do you like comic books? I don't really read comic books like oh man, wow, kinda like, I guess what I'll say what I like and don't like about it. What I like about it is because they can draw better than me. So, but what I don't like about it, because I don't know, like some things, like it just kind of lacks context in a way, because all you have is the dialogue and the pictures that tells you things, and I just like more context with the story, like like mm, like I have some mixed feelings about comic books. But I really like the visuals and all that stuff. But um, like when it comes to like the story, I'm trying to understand it, and I guess I don't really understand the format, like how to read a comic book. Like there's just so many different ways to read a comic book, and so yeah, interesting. Yeah. Great question that threw me off guard. So yeah, how many books do you read a month on average? Um, I try to read 1 to 2 a month. On average, yeah, 1 to 2 a month. Um, I don't know. I tend to go on reading slumps most of the year, but when it comes to the summertime is usually my best time to read because I'm like I really get into reading and I just keep going and going. Um, Last month in June, I actually finished like two. Was it two? Yeah, last month I actually finished 2 books. This month I finished 1 book. Hopefully I can finish another one, or maybe 2 more or something like that. But I've been quite on a roll this year. But I say this year because I read the Hunger Games prequel. Oh, oh, please with the questions. Oh, thank you for the questions. Hold up. I'm trying to figure out what I finished reading. So let's see. Finished the prequel for Hunger Games. I finished the series that I borrowed from the library. This for. Oh. I guess I finished 4 books so far this year. I don't know if that's bad, but yeah. Let's see. How do you balance reading for fun at school? So really, I try to get my schoolwork done first. Yeah, I try to get my schoolwork done first. I put plenty of my time into that, and you know, and when I finish that, I just probably read or write. Um, so yeah. Let's see. And it really depends on like how much time do I have, and really. Um, and usually it's the evening time that is my best time for finding balance for that. Uh, for reading and writing and yeah, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, great question. Okay. Oh, would you like to double or triple your personal book library? Oh, I guess I'll say triple. I'll say triple. I have been buying some books lately, and yeah, it's very interesting. I need to start getting some free books. um, like yeah, I need to go to more book conventions or book places that probably have some free books. I guess that's how I'll be like tripling the amount of books that I have personally. So, yeah, great questions. Great questions. Let's see. But yeah, but yeah, um, but I'll say, when it comes to like, um, to my writing channel and all that stuff, I want to say, June has been my slump month, and what I mean by that is like I wasn't posting as many videos that I wanted to in the month of June, and I'm really trying to get back this month, and so far it's been working. It has been working, and I'm very happy about that. But I want to talk more about like not just how to write certain things and all that stuff, but I want to like share my experience and like things that that goes on in writing and all that stuff. And I want to also be more spontaneous about it, like not be like da 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 da. But yeah, um, I'm working on I had an idea for a video. I think this is gonna be like one of my next videos. Um, about writing the beginning of a story, or like getting into the beginning of a story, like whether it's reading or writing a story. And yeah, I've been thinking about, like, for the past month, about like making like like talking about different things, like about the beginning, middle, end of the story, or like even certain things that just goes on in the writing process uh that I think that would be very interesting to talk about. And yeah, um, yeah, but yeah. Do you have any more questions or comments or anything? Oh, just right now, playing something with my. I'm just playing with something in my hand to just, like, you know. But yeah. Um, what is the worst book you have ever read? Hmm. Um. Uh. Wow. There's plenty of books to choose from. Um. I'll say so far. So there was this mystery book I read last year, or at least I tried to. It was for the month of October. It was like a mystery thriller book that um that was quite disturbing. There there was too much going on. I didn't even finish the book. Part of it was like I was trying to get into the genre mystery slash thriller. I like mysteries, but I it just felt more like a thriller and very fast paced. Um, yeah, and yeah, that was like a library book that I borrowed, and like it was too much. But yeah, but I've definitely heard about worse, worse books that someone else read. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but yeah. Uh, yeah. But yeah. So any last minute questions? Any last minute questions or anything like that you want to ask me, or anything at all? And let's see. Um, let's see. Let's see. And as you know, I'm playing with something in my hands, so you know. Um, huh. But yeah. Um, but yeah. This is the conclusion of the live stream. Thank you for joining in, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. And stay tuned for the next video. Um, yeah, stay tuned for the next video on this channel, and I'll update you as soon as possible. And um, yeah, check out, like, be on the lookout for the next live stream. Planning to do one probably at the end of the month. So yeah. Thanks for joining. Yeah,